Hello, and welcome to Let's Talk Climate, a weekly webcast series from ecoAmerica featuring dynamic discussions with local and national leaders. We offer diverse perspectives and bring forth the latest thinking and best practices for building public support and political resolve for equitable climate solutions in the U.S. Please engage with us online using the hashtag Let's Talk Climate. I'm Reverend Carol Devine, an ordained minister in the Christian Church Disciples of Christ, and the director of the BlessedTomorrow program at ecoAmerica. I am joining you today from my home in Lexington, Kentucky, on the traditional lands of the Adena, Hopewell, Yuchi, Shawnee, and Cherokee people. Today's episode features inspiring and dynamic leader of Reverend Lennox Yearwood of the Hip Hop Caucus. Reverend Yearwood recently spoke at the National Faith and Climate Forum in Washington, D.C. on climate justice. Listen with me now to this 10-minute segment from his presentation.
I just want to say that clearly the call on your life, either from your Buddhist tradition, your Jewish tradition, your Sikh tradition, your Muslim tradition, or your Christian tradition. Your calling on your life at this time is as important as a calling as ever in the time of humanity. I'm here, I'm the president of the Hip Hop Caucus. I'm also a senior advisor to so many other issues, and I'm dealing at literally real time with the train derailment that's happening in Ohio and East Palestine. I'm not sure why they say Palestine as Palestine, but that's okay. But Palestine, right outside of Pittsburgh. So I'm really in real time dealing with that, with my role with helping with the administration, and also with my role as a senior advisor to Bloomberg Philanthropies. So I am in that mode. But I want to lead with that because when I'm coming here, I came from talking with the folks, young activists who are dealing with Cop City in Atlanta, trying to get them to save the forest there. And there's a connection because Norfolk Southern, the train company that owns the train that was derailed in East Palestine, Ohio, is also the same company that is funding Cop City in Atlanta. And it's interesting because as we see, evil is okay being intersectional. But we sometimes are not okay being intersectional. And I think the minute that our movement understands that climate justice is racial justice, that climate justice is human rights justice, that climate justice is queer justice, climate justice is women's justice. Once we understand that these things are intersectional, like the other side does, then we will actually do better. So that's the first point, that they are okay being intersectional. Why aren't we? The second point that I wanted to bring to you from a faith tradition is that this is a time when even your faith, I'm sure, as we are shooting down UFOs around the world and also balloons if they come through the same lane, that we are in a time when we have to reimagine our faith daily. And so because of that, dealing with faith in the 21st century, along with dealing with crisis in the 21st century, is something that we must deal with at this time. And so I encourage you to be very much grounded in your faith tradition at this time. There's nothing much more important than you being grounded in your faith tradition to help you and to help our movement to go forward. The last thing I really want to say deals with a story, and it kind of piggybacks on the intersectional part and the faith part. And this story is that I had to speak in New York City in the location where Sean Bell, if you don't know who Sean Bell was shot 44 times on his wedding night. He went to a bachelor party, and then coming from that, he was shot 44 times, killed in New York City. And I was asked to come and speak in the location where Sean Bell was on climate. And so as I was there speaking, a young brother, couldn't have been no more than really about 12 or 13 years old, came up to me, and then the space that I was in the hood in New York was mostly white folks. And I'll say, well, Birkenstock folk, I don't want to get about it, okay? It was, so the whites made this, there had been some black and brown folk, but they was all wearing Birkenstock. I'll just say that. Birkenstock folks there, Reverend Markham. And it was interesting because, again, we had siloed our movement. And we can't win as a siloed, segregated, progressive movement. But we do that. But that's not actually the part of the story. The young brother came to me there, and I got finished speaking, and he told me, he said, Rev, he says, man, I wish more environmentalists look like you. And I thought actually he was giving me a compliment at first. I thought, okay, well, this is all right. Maybe this, he saw my cool hat, cool shoes, and everything. That's what he was looking at. I'm not too sure. But he said, I wish more environmentalists looked and sounded like you. And I want to say, little pinhead, sometimes we miss the genius that's right in front of us. Young folks bring genius to the process. I want to say sometimes we overlook that, and my way, I just thought as a young little brother, I'm going to go through. But this is what he said to me. He said to me, he said, Rev, I wish more environmentalists look like you. I said, well, thank you. No, that's okay, But, and I knew that I was in trouble. He says, but I had to ask you. I said, what? And Reverend Durley, he hit me with something that I actually want to leave with you. He says, but why do you want to save hell so bad? He said, why do you want to save hell so bad? And I thought about that here I am talking about the environment, how much carbon is in the atmosphere, how much parts per million we are over 350, what we are dealing with the IPCC report, how we need to go to the climate conference from either Scotland to Sharm el-Sheikh to Dubai, how we are dealing with how much coal we need to reduce or how much we need to get renewables, how we're dealing with all this. But the question from this young man was, why do you want to save hell so bad? And that's what we have to do, people of faith, is that for many of them, what we're saving for them, what we're fighting for them, is hell. And I would leave you today that while we need to deal with the environment and deal with the climate, let us not forget that right around the corner from this church, there's homelessness. Right around the corner from this church, there's a mother who was beat on last night by her drunk husband or her drunk partner. Right around the corner, there are kids who don't have any food this morning going to school. Right around the corner from here, there are folks who are sitting outside churches all around. Why do we want to save hell so bad? So before we get so caught up on saving the atmosphere, let us make sure we really change the atmosphere that is right around us. I believe that faith is the thing to transform the climate movement. If we can connect the dots with faith, then not only can we begin to bring heaven to our people, but also we can bring heaven to our atmosphere. Have a wonderful summit, y'all. God bless you, and all power to the people.
We must reimagine our faith daily, he said. Congregations are closing. The number of people who consider themselves religious is declining. And at the same time, over 70% of Americans consider themselves people of faith, and even more describe themselves as spiritual. When houses of worship engage in climate action, there is energy and vitality. Congregations who regularly hear sermons on creation care, have community gardens, and participate in climate action in their local towns and cities are thriving. 3/4 of Americans are concerned about climate change. By engaging in climate solutions, we are actively living out our faiths while making a difference in the world and in our local communities. As Reverend Yearwood said, faith can transform the climate movement. May it be so. Check out the Blessed Tomorrow Let's Talk Climate Justice series on ecoAmerica's YouTube channel for more climate justice action and inspiration. And please check out the description below and tell us what you think. Engage with us online using the hashtag Let's Talk Climate, and be sure to subscribe and follow Blessed Tomorrow for the latest thoughtful leadership, resources, and episodes on climate action and advocacy. From all of us here at ecoAmerica and Blessed Tomorrow, thank you for being with us. People of faith are the perfect leaders for climate solutions. We all stand together on God's holy ground. We need everyone, every day.